Going on, YouTube family? It's your man Pristine, back with another video. First video of 2023, y'all. I know I've been gone for a minute. You know, I was on a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm back, baby. You know what I'm saying? Back in full effect. You know what I'm saying? Back like I never left. All right, man, let's get it. Yeah, S23, boom. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, okay, why isn't this the S23 Ultra? I'm gonna tell you why. Or actually, I'm gonna just show you real quick, better than I can tell you. Because I got my Z Fold 4 here. You see what I'm saying? So me personally, I think that if you got a Z Fold 4 and you're contemplating on whether or not you should upgrade to the S23 Ultra, in my personal opinion, the S23 Ultra is a downgrade from the Z Fold 4. And I say that because let's just say if you trade in your Z Fold 4 for the S23 Ultra, you're giving up a ton of flexibility. Okay, I understand that the S23 Ultra, okay, it's the newer device. You know, the Z Fold 4, it's been out for 5.5, maybe close to 6 months, maybe a little bit over that. You know, so of course, you know, the S23 Ultra, it's going to have, you know, the new 8 Gen 2 processor, right? You're going to have all the, you know, efficiency upgrades, you know, speed updates, stuff like that, you know, battery life, you know, everything that, you know, that chip being a part of that device, everything that chip is going to offer, you got that going for the S23 and then Ultra. And then you got the cameras, right? You know, they're really putting major emphasis on the cameras this year on the S23. And I understand, you know, they're trying to stay, you know, keep their head above water, you know, with competing with Apple and Google, you know, on the camera front. Okay. But everything about the Z Fold 4 is pretty solid. And to me, I personally don't think that it's a noticeable drop off at all. You know, when I had my Z Fold 4, was in one of the department stores that had the S23 Ultra on display, and just using them side by side, scrolling, opening apps, all that type of stuff. I mean, the differences are very, very minimal. Like I said, you can see a difference in the camera, but it's not to say that the cameras on the Z Fold 4 are bad. They're just not as good as they are on the S23 Ultra, because the Ultra is the newer device. Cameras are being heavily emphasized on. But here's the thing. Because I understand that, you know, One UI 5 is also featured on the new S23 lineup as well. But the update is already rolled out. I've already got One UI 5.1 rather on my Z Fold 4 here, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But later on down the road, right, when the Z Flip and the Z Fold 5 come out, you know, the way we just seen the S23 Ultra get enhanced, those new devices are going to be enhanced as well. So it's like I can wait until then. Like, I'm not having any kind of battery issues with my Z Fold 4. I'm not having any kind of camera issues. You know, we got the S Pen, you know, this case that I got, you know, it allows me to either snap a stand on here, or I can snap in the pin, you know, so I can utilize the pin to my liking. Doesn't necessarily have all of the S Pen features of the S Pen that comes with the S23 Ultra that actually fits into the device, but you can buy the S Pen Pro and you will be able to utilize all those functions here on the Z Fold 4. But because of the fact that this now has pin capability, and I told y'all some years ago that if the Z Fold 4 gets an S Pen, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been completely flipped upside down, turned around. You know what I'm saying? Man, I can't go away from this to go back to the S23 Ultra, man. As good as the S23 Ultra is, to me, compared to this, it's a downgrade. And this by far is Samsung's most expensive, most premium device. There's a reason why there's a difference in cost. Okay. Now the Ultra, the S23 Ultra is gonna run you 1,100, 1,200, maybe 13, depending on the gigabyte variant that you get. This joint right now, after being out as long as it has been, is still gonna run you like 1,700, 1,800. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trading in a nearly $2,000 device for a $1,200 or $1,300 device, if that makes sense. I'm going to hang on to this, and when the new version of the $2,000 device comes out, then that's when I'm going to send this in so I can get a significant amount of money shaved off, and then I pay the difference, and then I get my shiny new $2,000 device. But for here and now, S23, I just got the standard one. Why? Because I just want a small device, right? Most of my devices are very big. You know, the Z Fold 4, I mean, it's thin. I like the way that it feels, but obviously, you know, when you open it up, then, you know, you've got that wider canvas there, okay? And boom, you see right there the software update. Your phone has been updated. It's updated to One UI 5.1. So we're good there. My Pixel 7 here. This phone, it's got a little bit of heft to it. I think I like the feel of the Pixel 6a a little better. Like, to me, that was like the sweet spot as far as like the size of the device. So that also had a lot to do with why I chose the Galaxy S23 as well. I just felt like it would be refreshing just to have a smaller device, a device that I could easily throw in my pocket that's not going to feel as though it's weighing me down, something that's easy to operate with one hand if that's what I want to do with it, and just keep it pushing. And I'm not really compromising anything, right? It's got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. You know, the cameras have been upgraded on here as well. We got upgraded battery, One UI 5.1, right? We've got, you know, a lot of things here going for it. I mean, so that's really what went into why I decided to go with this guy over the S23 Ultra. Okay, so now that that's out the way, let's get to it. Now, pricing, one of the most important specifications with any device that you buy, right? A lot of it comes down to the kind of money that we have and budgets that we're on to spend on devices. Okay, so this is the S23. It starts at $799 at 128 gigs, which is what this is. Okay, we got the 256 gig variant, which is $859.99. And those are the only 2 gigabyte variants for the S23. Now for the S23 Plus, you got there's only 2 versions of that one. It's 256 and 512. So the 256 gigs for the S23 Plus starts off at $999.99. And then the 512 gigabyte variant starts off at $1,119.99. Okay, now for the Ultra, like I said, I mean, that's going to run you like $1,200, $1,300. And I think those are also 256 or 512 as well. All right. Now, your $800, what is it getting you? Well, so glad you asked. Let's run down the spec list. We've got a 6.1 flat, not curved. Some of you will be pleased by that. I tend to like the curved displays because I like the way that it feels in the hand. But that's just a matter of preference. That's just me. But I know a lot of people, they slam the curved edges and they always want flat edges. Well, I'm not really a fan of the flat edges, and I want the curved edges because I like aesthetics and how things look. And I just think that phones look a little bit sleeker. They look a little bit more modernized when they've got that curve going, you know, bleeding around from the edges leading to the back of the device. I'm a really big fan of that look. So yeah, but this is a 6.1 inch flat, full HD plus, 2340 by 1080p dynamic AMOLED ×2 display. We got 120 hertz refresh rate. We've got HDR10 plus. We've got peak brightness at 1,750 nits. I mean, so you should not have any problems viewing this device under any kind of lighting situations whatsoever. You could be outside, you know, bright sunny day, you know, dim lit room, whatever. You know, 1,700 nits. That's damn near blinding. You know what I'm saying? So yes, this phone gets super bright. Okay. We've got an 86.8% screen to body ratio. We've got a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, 425 ppi pixel density, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and the back with an aluminum frame. And those are the specs for the display. Now the internals, the guts. As I mentioned, we got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. This is a 4 nanometer SoC chip, 5G chipset with an octa-core CPU. We've got the Adreno 740 GPU, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, non-expandable. We've got UFS 3.1, and we're running Android 13 over One UI 5.1, as I previously mentioned. All right, now the cameras on the rear. We've got a triple camera setup. The main camera is a 50 megapixel sensor. This is a 24 millimeter wide lens featuring dual pixel PDAF and optical image stabilization. We've got a 12 megapixel sensor at f2.2 aperture. This is a 13 millimeter, 120 degree ultra wide lens that features super steady video, LED flash, auto HDR, and panorama. And oh wow, getting ahead of myself here. Okay, so that's okay. So the 50 megapixel sensor, that's the main sensor. We've got a 10 megapixel, 70 millimeter telephoto lens featuring PDAF optical image stabilization and 3-time optical zoom. And then lastly, the 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture, 13 millimeter, 120 degree ultra wide lens. So kind of got tongue tied there. Read over my notes incorrectly. Moving a little too quick. So those are the cameras right there. And again, we got super steady video. Again, LED flash, auto HDR, panorama. We got 8K recording at 24 or 30 FPS, 4K recording at 30 to 60 FPS, 1080p recording at 30, 60, or 240 FPS. And then also 1080p recording at 960 FPS, also featuring HDR10 plus stereo sound recording, gyro electronic image stabilization. Yeah, this phone it's got all the things, right? All the things. And that's what you expect from a flagship device, right? This is just the smallest variant of the 23 lineup, but still this is a flagship. This is not a mid-range device. This is a flagship device. The selfie camera has been upgraded from the 10 megapixel sensor to now a 12 megapixel sensor. This is an f2.2 aperture, 26 millimeter wide lens featuring dual pixel PDAF, dual video call, auto HDR, HDR10 plus, 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS, excuse me, and of course 1080p recording at 30 FPS. Oh man. Pardon me, y'all. Battery life. We've got a 3,900 milliamp hour non-removable battery, which is an upgrade over the 3,700 milliamp hour battery that was featured on the S22, the base version. Now, so we've got 200 additional milliamps, and we've got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor in this thing. So I'm definitely going to be testing this out to see exactly what kind of battery life I'm going to be getting on the S22. I also elected to grab one of those last year just because I wanted that smaller package. Battery life was decent for me, like from what I can recall from that device. I know that I heard some horror stories, but I think these things are all predicated on how you use your device. And me, I just don't really go hard on my devices like that. I mean, so I was able to get through a full day with the S22. The base model. So as efficient as I'm hearing that this new chipset is, I'm thinking that, the battery life, given the new chip and the fact that we do have 200 additional milliamps, that, battery life should be a little bit better than what it was on last year's variant of the S22. So we will definitely, check on that. And I'll be reporting back on my findings on that. Now we do have this phone is 25 watt fast charge capable, which that brick does not come in the box here. As you can see, we've got the little thin box, so there's no charging brick in here. So that's an additional accessory you're going to have to go and buy, unless if you just like me still have a couple of Samsung charging bricks from previous devices that were fast chargers, where the brick was actually still coming in the box, so that's how I lucked up. I mean, I haven't had to go and buy any additional accessories to charge these devices. And even if I didn't have those, I've got an Anker universal fast charger that I just charge these phones up just immediately. So yeah, I mean, sucks, separate accessory you got to go and buy, but what do you do about that? All right. Samsung is claiming 50% in 30 minutes. We do have wireless charging, 15 watts. We have reverse wireless charging at 4.5 watts, and we've got USB Type-C and 3.2 on the go. My bad, y'all. I want to put this out there real quick. I am recovering from COVID, unfortunately. I think this is probably the most I've talked since finding out. Today is what, Wednesday the 22nd, February the 22nd. I found out last Sunday that I had tested positive for it. Don't have an active cough or anything like that, but I find the more that I'm talking, the more I'm starting to cough. I mean, so, you know, y'all bear with me as I try to get through this unboxing. Now the colors, we've got Phantom Black, which obviously you take a look at the box there. The color that's on the box is going to be the color of the device that you chose. We got Phantom Black, cream, green, lavender, graphite, and lime. I wanted to get one of those bespoke edition colors, but again, I didn't want my delivery date to be pushed back. I wanted to get this device in hand as quickly as possible, so I can, you know, get to this unboxing. So I just went ahead and got the Phantom Black color. Now the additional features, we got Bluetooth 5.3, as I mentioned earlier, wireless charging, dual stereo speakers tuned by AKG, of course. We've got an under the display ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, NFC. We've got a 32-bit 384 kilohertz audio DAC that is tuned by AKG. And I know that people, you know, they make a big deal about the headphone jack, and you know, if you have a dongle, I mean, it works just as well. I understand that it's a separate accessory, but let me put a little bug in your ear. For those of you people that still like to plug into your devices, have you ever thought about getting an independent DAP or digital audio player, MP3? Because those things have been out for a while and they're still going strong. And for the audiophiles out there, you know, they know, and I know, that listening to music on a cell phone, although it can be, you know, satisfactory for some, if not most, you got a lot of people out there like me that are very, very, very keen on audio quality, and it's the type of quality that no cell phone can produce. And them headphone jacks are very important because you got the 2.5 millimeter jack, the 3.5 millimeter jack, you got the 4.4 millimeter jack, and they all offer different sound stages. You know what I mean? And a lot of these jacks you can find on some of your mid-tier or higher end, even some of the budget level digital audio players out there. And I've got like 6 of them in my drawer, you know, that I'm going to review. So y'all stick with me, because I'm gonna get heavy into that, because I'm a huge audiophile. And yeah, this little hiatus that I've been on, I just ain't been making content, but I still been getting phones and getting other tech, and I'm gonna be reviewing all that stuff for you guys. I mean, so man, I'm gonna be coming at you hard and fast with these videos. So IP68 water and dust resistance. We have armor aluminum frame with tougher drop and scratch resistance. This is what Samsung is claiming. So just like Apple, you know, they went with the ceramic shield to really, you know, toughen up their devices. Well, Samsung is now going with armor aluminum to bolster up the phone's toughness to stand the time against drops and scratches and scrapes and stuff like that. All right, of course, we got Samsung DeX, wireless DeX, Samsung Pay. And then the dimensions, you know, the device is 168 grams and 500.93 ounces. I mean, so it's a little guy, right? And that's cool. That's totally fine with me, because that's what I wanted. All right, so see the device there on the box. You see the camera cut out. It's no secret what the camera looks like. S23 right there. Plain black box. You know, I'm a fan of the presentation. I just would like for this box to be a bit thicker, you know, with, you know, the charging brick in it, but it is what it is. Okay, so, you know, typical, you know, box that these Samsung devices come in. Okay, let's go ahead and boom. Wow. Okay, So you see, this is how we're greeted with the device as soon as you open it up. Oh, okay. So that comes off. Oh, I like how they did that. Ooh, ooh, look at that. Ooh. Oh man, that's hard right there. I like that. Phantom Black. It's been a minute since I bought a black phone. And you know, it's all black everything, baby. No racist. You know what I'm saying? No racist. So I want to get that understood. But lately I've just been buying my devices in a lot of other colors that I've been finding attractive. And it's been a minute since I've just bought a black device, but this joint goes hard. Look at this. And it's like a matte feel. Obviously that's glass, but it's not a fingerprint magnet. My hands are typically oily. Nothing. I like that. Okay, you got the 3 big camera rings right there. I mean, so clearly that's an update. You know, the S22, it had like a little. It had a portion of it where the cameras were. It kind of protruded off the back of the device a little bit, and that was where the camera was housed. Where they got rid of that, and they just got the 3 camera rings. I'm really a fan of how this looks. The way this feels in hand. Yeah, I made the right choice. I know after I got this, I was just like, man, okay, while I'm opening this joint up, am I going to regret not getting the Ultra? But I was like, nah, man. I mean, you know, because like I said, I got that Z Fold 4 and that's, yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we got in here. I know it's just going to be some literature, the Type-C to Type-C wire, you know, the SIM pin. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother taking all that stuff out. You know, same stuff. Okay. Now look, now this phone, you got to be careful when you set it on flat surfaces because it's slippery. And I just set it up and it's moving. Can you guys see that? And if you're not careful, if you set it down without a case on it, on a flat surface or surface, it's going to do what it's doing now. Slowly sliding off, and all of a sudden you're going to hear a noise and you're going to jump because it's probably going to startle you because it's going to hit the ground, and say if you've got wooden floors, it's going to make a devastating sound. And to your surprise, you're going to turn around and your shiny new S23, S23 Plus, or S23 Ultra is going to be on the ground. And you're going to be hoping that that armor aluminum frame with tougher drop and scratch resistance is really a thing and not something that Samsung is just capping over. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be filing a claim for your brand new shiny device. All right. So that's a clear-cut example, ladies and gentlemen, of what happens if you place it on a flat surface. All right. Now, wow, I am just really liking. Wow, this is I mean, and I'm a minimalist. It's plain. It's minimal. It's not a whole lot going on, but I like it. I like it. All right, so I know we got some juice here. Oh, okay, I was about to say, come on, Samsung. Like, you gonna send me the device without no juice? Come on, man. All right, so while that's booting up, again, 6.1 inch display, corner to corner. I like how the corners are rounded, and you could see a better example of that there. Very minimal bezels. This says, well, my source material said 86.8% screen to body ratio, but this looks like this is in the 90 percentile as far as screen to body ratio, because those bezels are very, very, very thin. Very thin. Maybe that's an inaccuracy there. But nonetheless, 6.1 inches corner to corner. You see, we've got the hole punch up there. That's the 12 megapixel new selfie snapper. All right. On the right side of the device, we've got the power button. Let's see. Can you see that? Get that in the glare there. Power button right there. We've got the volume rocker up and down that sits right above the power button. In between, we've got an antenna line right there. What is that? You guys can see right there, you know, there's like little plastic on the edges. I think that's our 5G antenna right there. Let's see. Yeah, that's the 5G antenna. On the bottom of the device, we've got our SIM tray. We've got a noise canceling mic, Type-C port, another noise canceling mic, and then we've got the bottom firing speaker right there. You guys can see all that in the glare right there. All right. Top of the device. I was going to say, ooh, we got an IR blaster. I knew that wasn't true. I knew that wasn't true. It's just another noise canceling mic. My bad. I didn't mean to get you excited, you know what I'm saying, get your juices flowing by mere mentioning an IR blaster. You know, how dare you, Prestige? My bad, y'all. My bad. All right. But yeah, another noise canceling microphone right there. We've got some antenna lines up there. To the left of the device, it's nothing. We've got another antenna line right here. You can see that right there in the glare. And to the back of the device, again, we just got like this, I don't know, just this frosted glass feel with those 3 camera rings. I mean, this just looks really, really good. And then we got the Samsung logo right there. Yeah, this, man, yeah, this joint goes hard. It goes hard. I almost don't want to, you know, put a case on it, but I mean, you know, I can't be rocking my phone booty bucket naked, baby. You know what I'm talking about? They got to be in a case. You see what I'm saying? Oh, but man, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right. So that's it for, you know, just a quick, you know, hardware tour. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, put y'all on hold for a minute and go ahead and get this thing set up, drop some of my information in to get some things customized. And then I'll be right back with you and we'll go over, you know, some of the features and functions, you know, some of the software, you know, nuances and things of that nature. All right, hold it down. All right, y'all, we are back at the desktop for the Samsung Galaxy S23. Really nice feel from the device. You know, again, it's refreshing to have a smaller handset that is possessing the power, the speed, and everything just moves, you know, very proficiently and efficiently. Everything is nice and quick, snappy. I like that. Right, you know, there's nothing like a phone that kind of lags behind, or when you're trying to get from one app to another, you know, stutters and little hiccups or whatnot, you know. And so I think that, you know, thus far with this new One UI, you know, 5.1, I mean, things are extremely fluid across the board. I mean, we do have 8 gigabytes of RAM, you know, here. I mean, so. You know, that's, you know, probably more than what you need, but, you know, it's there and it's a good thing, you know, especially for those of you that like to do a lot of multitasking, you know, keeping a lot of applications open at the same time. You know, a lot of those things can really weigh your phone down. And so, you know, the more RAM you have, you know, the more it helps manage, you know, keeping a relatively smooth experience, you know, when you've got a multitude of apps open all at once at the same time, and also navigating back and forth from each and every one of those apps, you know, depending on, you know, what you're doing. You know, I hope you guys can, you know, appreciate, you know, my, my little, my Michael Myers wallpaper there. You know, I know it's not Halloween, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's actually the 23rd of February, but I mean, I'm a huge Halloween Michael Myers fanatic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, Halloween, man, he's on all my phone's wallpapers. And I thought that this one was dope, you know what I'm saying? And it's very fitting, you know, to go with that phantom black. I mean, just look at how beautiful that is. And then, you know, you turn it over and boom, you know, you got Michael Myers right there, you know, with the knife up, you know, drenched in blood from a fresh kill. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, yeah, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. All right. So yeah, speaking of that fluidity, you know, I did go ahead and do a backup, so I got mostly all my apps on here. Haven't quite put anything on my homepage. It's interesting. I know a lot of you guys think that I be dropping Nova Launcher and stuff like that, on my devices. No, I don't tamper with any of that stuff. What I do is I'll change the wallpapers, I'll change the colors, I'll change the icon styles or shapes, if the device allows us to do such things. And, I choose and I'll just choose a wallpaper, and I very carefully handcraft put these groups together, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it may look like, oh, okay, man, what launcher is pristine running? I'm not running any launcher, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so whatever phone I'm using, the stock custom launcher that came on that device is what it is, but I'm just very crafty and meticulous and particular about how I like my device to look. I don't like things very messy. I'm very organized. I've got OCD big time, and I just like things to be where I want them and how I need them to be. And, presentation is big too, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like, it's one of the things that helps me, stay, using a particular device is just the setup and the way it looks to me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, and I don't really deviate much from that. So, for those of you that were curious of such things, yeah, that's my secret. You know what I'm saying? I don't do Nova or any other, any other launcher, I just, maneuver things around and, create folders and stuff like that. But you can see here, everything is nice and snappy, very responsive to the touch. Here we've got all our quick toggles here. Those can easily be customized. If you click on the three dots here and then you hit edit buttons, that's going to take you to a whole list of toggles that you can add down to your list right there. And you can see there's so many of them. Here are just my key essentials that I use most. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, sound, flashlight, location, mobile data, Dolby Atmos, obviously, power saving, dark mode, scan QR code, secure Wi-Fi, and DeX. You know what I mean? Those are the quick toggles that are most important to me. But you can have as many of these things down here as you like, and it's just going to create pages, just kind of like how I'm flipping through these. It'll be the same thing here with your frequently used quick toggles. All right. So when you're done, you can hit done, or you can hit reset if you just want to completely reorder or reconfigure your order, if you will. And then as soon as you're done, boom, you hit done and it's done. You know what I'm saying? It's done. I like the fact too that when you slide down here, we got the volume, I'm sorry, not the volume slider, but the brightness slider. And you can see how, I mean, the brightness is, I'd say that's got to be at like maybe 25, 30%, maybe 35. But you see where that bar is right there. And you see how bright this is. I mean, things are extremely bright. I mean, like I said, I mean, the peak brightness for this device is 1750. 1750. You know what I'm saying? Not 17. You see what I'm saying? Not 1750. 1750. You know what I'm saying? That's hella bright. Hella bright. Like I said, you're not going to have any. You shouldn't. If you have problems viewing this phone, especially if the brightness setting is turned all the way up, if it's all the way maxed out and you're having issues seeing this device, you need to make an appointment with the optometrist immediately, expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't see a 1750 display, oh man, it's problems. Yeah, but yeah, so that's that. And we'll go ahead and you see we scroll hard to the right, and we've got the Google feed here, and it's nice and snappy, buttery smooth fluidity. Sometimes you may notice a little bit of choppiness here and there as it's loading the content, but once the content loads up, I mean, boom. It's effortless. You barely even tap it. I mean, it's almost like you're just running your finger over air and it just responds. So yeah, I like that. Again, smaller phone, most of the phones are bigger nowadays, to today's standards. Phones have gotten, really big, and so the reason why I chose this again was just because I just thought that it would be refreshing to have a smaller beast in my pocket, wielding around, the Pixel 7, which, it's not that big, but it's definitely bigger than this. I'm very tempted to cop that Asus Zenfone 9, because I know that MKBHD, on his smartphone rewards ceremony for 2022. I mean, that phone got a lot of high praise, and I know that Jay Will, went and picked it up not too long after. I don't know if he had his eye on it, if it was on his radar and he decided to pick it up, or if he too, got the idea by watching MKBHD's reward video for 2022. But nonetheless, I mean, that's a very small phone, and it's I hear it's on beast mode status, and so I may have to pick that up as well and feature it here on the channel. But yeah, and again, I have the Z Fold 4, and so yes, you heard me right at the top end of the video. If you had to run it back, or if you paused the video and was like, wait a minute, did Pristine just say that the S23 Ultra is a downgrade from the Z Fold 4? Yes, you heard me correctly, because that's exactly what it is. Okay, your typical conventional style of smartphone is your glass sandwich. I'm talking about, we got Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and the back, and we got aluminum, or as some people like to pronounce, aluminium. Shout out to Flossie, man. Shout out to Flossie. Big up to Flossie, man. What's good, brother? You know what I'm saying? We got the aluminium frame. You know what I'm saying? It's a glass sandwich, you know what I'm saying? And it's your typical smartphone experience due to its construction. But I mean, the Z Fold 4 is offering you something different. I mean, you've got a different aspect ratio when the phone is closed. When the phone is open, you've got a tablet. You've got S Pen capability. You know what I'm saying? You just got it all. You can do it all. And not to say that you can't do similar things on the S23 Ultra, but you can't do them the way you can do them on the Z Fold 4. And that's factual. I ain't making this up, pimpin'. Yeah, I ain't making this up, little baby. Yeah, that's factual. Yeah. So that's why I opted not to get the S23 Ultra, and I'm going to hold on to my Z Fold 4, because when the Z Fold 5 comes out later on this year, and the Flip, they're going to get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 Plus processors. More than likely, they're going to get the camera bump that the S23 Ultra got. They're going to get the battery life that the S23 Ultra got, and yeah, that's when I think I'm going to make a move. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, as of right now, in my mind, I still feel as though I have the best Samsung most premium device right now with the Z Fold 4. No need to get the S23 Ultra. No knock on anybody that wants the S23 Ultra. It's a great phone. It's a great phone. But I'm saying, once you've been Z folded, it's hard to go back. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to go back. So yeah, so we'll pop into the settings here real quick, and things are going to look very familiar to you if you're familiar with One UI setup. Oxygen OS on the OnePlus used to be one of my favorite operating systems or user interfaces, just because of the customizations. It really offered a lot of things. It was a very robust UI, and it kind of sucks to know that they went away from that for God, what's the company? They're using Oppo's UI now on the OnePlus 11. And actually, I'm going to get the OnePlus 11. I'm actually very intrigued by the OnePlus 11, and I understand that I'm doing the unboxing and just kind of scrolling through some of the features and functions of the S23 here. But I'm gonna keep it 100, man. And I'm not trying to slander this, because this is a good little device for anybody that wants it. But I mean, I think that it's safe to say that OnePlus is back up to their flagship killing wicked ways. You see what I'm saying? Because this phone right here starts off at $799, and the OnePlus 11 starts off at $699. And the OnePlus 11 is offering more than this. It has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 as well. It's got a bigger battery. This is a 1080p AMOLED display, but it's a beautiful display nonetheless. The OnePlus 11 has a Quad HD display. Cameras, what I'm saying? What's better between the cameras between this and the OnePlus 11? I have to see the side by side, but I mean, I can't imagine that the cameras on the OnePlus 11, are a slouch by any stretch of the imagination, especially, with partnering up with Hasselblad, what I'm saying? I mean, who's a major player in the camera game. I mean, and it's $100 cheaper than this. It's a better phone and it's $100 cheaper than this. And the only indictment against it that I'm hearing people complaining about is the fact that the OnePlus 11 does not have wireless charging, but this does. So people are giving this the one up over the OnePlus 11 because this has wireless charging. Well, let me ask you folks this. Let me ask you this. You do realize that the OnePlus 11 comes with an 80-watt charging brick in the package that OnePlus is claiming 0 to 100 charging speeds in 27 minutes. And you know it's true because that Warp Charge has been for years some of the fastest fast charging on planet Earth. So why would I give a damn, ladies and gentlemen, if the S23 here has wireless charging, which it can wirelessly charge at 15 watts. Now, how long would it take to charge this phone from 0 to 100 at 15-watt wireless charge speed? A couple hours maybe? Versus 27 minutes from an 80-watt warp speed charger on the OnePlus 11? Are you kidding me? Who gives a damn about wireless charging when you got an 80-watt charger charging your phone up that fast? Right? Like, I just have to talk about it. I'm not trying to slander the S23 here, but I'm just like, man, OnePlus, they did it again. They did it again. They flagship killed again. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised, you know what I'm saying, if the next device you see on Pristine Tech is going to be that OnePlus 11. Because I skipped out on the OnePlus 10 and the 10T and all that, you know what I'm saying? I skipped that gen. But I mean, yeah, I think it's time to jump back on board with OnePlus. You know what I'm saying? And, maybe I'll do a little comparison video between these two here. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Not to get too off kilter there, but I just had to throw that in there because people are sleeping on OnePlus, and I'm like, now time out. You know what I'm saying? They kind of diverted from what got them their claim to fame, which was making quality products at a fraction of the cost, majorly undercutting the competition. But then these last couple years, they wanted to become just like the competition, and they wanted to make premium products, but also charge that premium price. Well, it didn't end too well for them. They didn't move as many units as they thought that they were going to, or that they were used to because of, those price cuts. But this year, the OnePlus 11 and everything that it's offering, $699. I mean, that's still, that's $700. But I mean, when you look at the fact that this is starting at $800, and really the only thing that this has over the OnePlus is wireless charging, man. If I had to recommend one, I would take the OnePlus. Save yourself $100, unless you are just an absolute fan of Samsung and the One UI. I'm all about saving a buck and getting a quality product. So yeah, I'm sorry. All you Samsung knights out there that just like, oh my God, Pristine is so blasphemous. I mean, this is a Samsung video. How dare he talk about OnePlus? Sorry, but I'm not sorry. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, yeah. I cracked myself up. Damn. All right. Yeah. So, again, if you are familiar with Samsung, then this is going to look very familiar to you. I mean, this is the settings, and obviously you got a slew of settings. And, what I recommend to really learn your device, because like you see that, like, okay, it says connections, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, SIM manager. Okay. And you got connected devices, quick share, Samsung Dex, Android Auto. Like it does a good job of letting you know what content lies in between these particular subjects, but there's always a little bit more. They can't like fit everything on this little line right here. So if you really, really, really want to learn your device, just do what I do. You ain't got to pull out the instruction manual. Just set aside a little bit of time and get intimate with your device. What you mean, Pristine? Man, I'm so glad y'all asked. Look, just start going into stuff and just look at everything, you know, all the options that are under that particular setting and see what's there, right? And play around with it a little bit, right? Get to know your device. So many people, you know, they buy these devices, they spend hundreds of dollars on these high-end phones, these high-end flagship devices, and they don't have a clue on what they do or how to operate them, or that they've got features up the yin yang that they may be looking for, and they're pissed off because they're under the assumption or impression that their device doesn't have this particular feature that they thought it had, when in actuality the phone does have the feature. They just don't know where to go to get it or to find it. So man, and I know that sometimes, you know, these things, they aren't all that transparent, but you know, just start clicking on stuff and going through it, and you shall find. Those who seek shall find. You see what I'm saying? Those that seek shall find, man. You know what I'm saying? And that is a quick, surefire way to get to learn your device. You'll learn all the ins and outs. You'll learn exactly where this feature is and that feature is. You know what I'm saying? And it will help put an end to a lot of the confusion. It'll help put an end to a lot of the ignorance, because you're educating yourself by doing that, right? The instruction manual ain't gonna tell you all these things. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I said things, not things, things. THANGS, things. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So modes and routines, you know, now this is choose a mode based on what you're doing or where you are. Your phone settings will change to match your activity or situation. Okay, so you got sleep, theater, driving, exercise, relax, work, and you can even add a mode, and there's like little colors that you can choose to customize that mode. There's little icons that you could choose, you know, to when you see that icon, then you know that that mode is that mode that you created, right? And then when you're done, just hit done. But I'm not going to create anything right now. I'm just going to hit cancel, but I just wanted to show that, because modes and routines, that's a little bit different, right? So then of course you got sounds and vibrations. Typical shenanigans here, as I talk about with every Samsung device. When you hit volume, one of my favorite features is the fact that you can customize the volume for the ringtone and the notifications. They're not consolidated. I absolutely, positively despise, I'm not going to say hate. I was going to say hate. I don't hate anything, but I despise the fact that phones don't give you this option right here. And it's like the ringtone and the notification tone are completely consolidated. So it's like if I want to increase the volume for my ringtone, but I want to leave my notification tone as is, I can't, because it only gives you one toggle that controls both. And I totally despise that. So I love this setup, and I know that Samsung isn't the only, you know, a manufacturer that gives us this option. But I mean, for your boy Pristine, y'all, it's about the little things. I ain't hard to please. You know what I'm saying? It's like just tackle the little small details, and I'm a happy camper. I really am. Yeah. So, yeah, baby, let's keep it moving. So system sound, these are just, you know, touch interactions, dialing keypad, Samsung keyboard, charging, screen lock, unlock, you know, just a little locking sound, that kind of thing. You know, so you have like total control to be able to control, you know, just the noises that your phone makes. Obviously, you know, the ringtones, notification tones, tones for emails, all that stuff, right? Tones for everything. You know, you got total control at your fingertips. Call vibration, notification vibration, system vibration, vibration intensity. This is where you can, you know, control how intense you want your phone to vibrate, whether it's, you know, a phone call vibration, notification vibrations, or just, you know, media, system, whatever, right? You can control all that stuff. All right. Now the haptic engine on this device is very good. I'm not going to say that I'll say that it's a step beneath iPhone and Pixel, but I mean, that's damn good, because most haptic engines on a lot of these devices are simply trash. They are absolute trash. And so I like the fact that Samsung, they actually put thought into their haptic engine. You know what I mean? The phone, it feels premium when it vibrates, whether it's ringing or you get a notification, you could feel it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it vibrates you hard enough to get your attention to where you're not going to miss a call, not going to miss a notification. And I like that. A lot of premium devices, you'll be amazed, ladies and gents, of the amount of flagship devices that I bought. And I had to turn off the haptic engine because it was so trash. You see? So I like, just again, small details. If you're going to have a haptic engine, make sure that it's a haptic engine of quality. Not no BS. Don't give us no, trying to throw something quick together and it just be trash and you ended up having to use it anyway. Remember, you pay every dime that you pay for these devices, you paid for everything that manufacturer put into it. You see what I'm saying? And I don't like to feel shortchanged. So a lot of those devices where I had to turn off the haptics, which is a feature that I typically like to leave on when the haptic engine ain't trash, I feel shortchanged. So it's good to see that Samsung is paying attention to the little things and blessing us with quality. Quality. Yeah. All right. And then one of my favorites under sounds and vibrations, and I know that I've talked about this in several other Samsung device unboxings and unboxings and pristine reviews, and but sadly, no other phone manufacturer is doing this. But I mean, we have Dolby Atmos on other devices. We got Dolby Atmos for gaming. We even have equalizers on other devices that offer presets like normal, pop, classic, jazz, rock, and custom. We do have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, a 9-band EQ. Some offer 10, some offer 6. 9-band EQ, that's cool for customizing your music, but now that I've been completely turned on and turned out by digital audio players, it's kind of hard for me, the audiophile, to recommend listening to music on phones anymore, but, it works. So it's good to see that, you do have these options. But the other thing that I like most importantly is the adapt sound. Now, this is a really, really, really cool feature because what this does is you can customize sound based on your age. And for each one of these presets, it sounds different. Here, if you don't know what it is, I'll read it to you real quick. Your ears are unique. You may be more sensitive or less sensitive to certain frequencies of sound compared to other people. Your hearing varies with age and may even differ from your left ear to your right ear. Adapt sound gives you perfect sound that's tuned just for your ears. It works whenever you're wearing headphones. Now, you got adapt sound for media and calls, or you got it for only media or only calls. And so by default, it's on media and calls. Solid. Okay. Now choose a preset that matches your age, or try a hearing test to get fully personalized sound. So what it is you can have it off, and by default, it's off. Now, you got under 30 years old, you hit that one. 30 to 60, I'm 44, so I would hit the 30 to 60. And then you got over 60. So let's just say I hit that. Now, when I hit the little settings icon right there, this is the preset for what this algorithm feels is going to be suitable for a set of ears between the ages of 30 and 60. You can do a preview. And if you're wearing headphones, you're going to hear sounds on both the left side and the right side. But then, if none of these presets are working for you, you can hit Test My Hearing. And it will run a test. And based on how you score on the test, it will automatically generate a sound that it thinks is suitable for the way in which you hear based on how you scored on the test. I've never seen a cell phone have this particular technology. Maybe this is just a Samsung patent or something like that. And maybe they just was like, yo, we came up with this idea and it's so damn good that where we just can't let other people get their the grubby little paws on it. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep this thing, you know what I'm saying, a Samsung exclusive feature, which is smart. which is smart because everybody likes to bite off of everybody. You know what I'm saying? No idea is original these days. And so this is why I respect Samsung for stuff like this. Never seen it on any other device. And it is a very, very clever idea. So for people that like to, listen to music or whatever you're listening to on your device, know that with your Samsung device, you can tailor make your sound exactly to the way in which you like to hear whatever it is that you're listening to. That is awesome. Okay, I got to give Samsung their props about that. I talk about that in every one of my Samsung, because man, it's like, Samsung, they're the cream of the crop. So they just don't put out trash. They don't. But it's like, to me, it's stuff like this that makes it hard to go to another phone and stay with another phone, right? It's little things like this that maybe I can put the Samsung down temporarily, but I'm going to always come back to it, sometimes quicker than not, because of just little things like this. You see? Samsung, man, they coming with it, man. So it's going to be real interesting to see, what type of heat, the opposition, the ops is going to be coming with later on this year. Yeah. That's under, sounds, display. Okay, so we got light, dark mode settings, brightness, adaptive brightness, extra brightness, motion smoothness. Now with motion smoothness, you only got two settings. You got adaptive and you got standard. Let's hit standard real quick. Whoa. That is trash. Major drop off as far as scrolling. Are you seeing this? That looks very iPhone-ish right there. Not slandering the iPhone, you know what I'm saying? I know they got what is it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, to be desired, since I, paid $800, $850 for this bad boy, basically, you know what I'm saying? Because in the state of Washington, taxes 9.5%, damn near 10%, you know what I'm saying? So, this phone was $799, you know what I'm saying? 50, little more than $50 in taxes, you know what I'm saying? So, $850, you know what I'm saying? After dropping $850, what I like for there to be more options, like rather than it just be adaptive and standard, how come we can't get 120 hertz? Or actually, how about this? Because now that this is the new, we've had these same two options for a minute. Why not give us 144, 120, 90, and then off? And then let people rock out with 60, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you turn off the adaptive display, then it just defaults to 60. You know what I'm saying? Why not give us something like that, Samsung? I would have liked to have seen more higher refresh rate options, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just this adaptive and standard. Because obviously, by having adaptive on, it's going to drain more battery. But after you paid $850, you should have the ability to where if you want to scale down the high refresh rate a little bit, you should be able to scale it down, but still have those silky smooth scrolling effects. You see? Rather than just either have it on and experience everything buttery smooth, or turn it off and everything, it goes from PS5 to the regular Nintendo Super Mario Brother graphics. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, there's no in between. It's just hardcore 4K 60, or it's you know what I'm saying, Super Nintendo graphics. Mario Brothers, Mario Kart. It's like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I want that 4K 60, you know what I'm saying? The Last of Us, you know what I'm saying? PS5 remake and part 2, you know what I'm saying? Run it smooth all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, but then you turn it on standard and you're playing the first Tomb Raider. Great game back then, but I mean, graphical standards at this frame of the game, that Tomb Raider looks like ish. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, man. Just, you know, using the video game analogies. But I mean, man, that's what this reminds me of. And it's like, man, after spending my $850, I want some options. I want adaptive display options. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Motorola, because Motorola, you know what I'm saying, they give us those options. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the phone is topped out. The refresh rate is 144. You can scale it down to 120 to 90. You know what I'm saying? Then you turn it off, you know what I'm saying, and it caps you at 60. But damn, that is terrible. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, okay, yeah, let me stop. Let me I'm about to get irritated. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop. Let me go in and throw it. So just know, ladies and gents, if you take this phone off of adaptive and put it on standard, you're going to be upset. You will be upset. Because adaptive display spoils you. It does. And it doesn't quite prepare you for what it's going to be if you turn adaptive display off. Now, okay, let me say this. So it gives you a quick synopsis, right? So for adaptive, get smoother animations and scrolling by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 120 hertz. Okay, and when you go to standard, get longer battery life by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate up to 60 hertz. Up to 60 hertz. So the reason why it looks so terrible is because it could, based on what you're doing, it's not even functioning at 60 hertz. After you've been so spoiled by refresh rates up to 120. But damn, it's like anything over 60 is good, is better. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, man, that's a hard pill to swallow. I bet you OnePlus 11 will give you better options. Ooh. Uh-oh. Come on now. Don't shoot the messenger, Samsung Knights. You know, I'm just the messenger. All right. Oh, goodness, that was painful. All right, we got Eye Comfort Shield, screen mode. Now, screen mode is on Vivid by default, fresh out of the BizOx. You know what I'm talking about? And, you know, you can look at the differences. It gives you 3 different photos to look at what the differences are when it's on Vivid. Vivid just kind of like oversaturates the colors a bit, makes things pop a little more, which I'm a huge fan of. But then you can hit natural and it just normalizes the colors a bit more. Okay. And you could also scroll through these same photos. And I don't know if you guys could tell the difference by me choosing Vivid versus natural, but you can see natural has a more natural look. Vivid has a more color poppy saturated look. And I'm a fan of the color poppiness. You see what I'm saying? I don't think that's a word, but hey, it is now. You know what I'm saying? It is now. Also notice too, when you've got it on Vivid, you have the ability to toggle the white balance to either cool or warm. And then you got advanced settings where you can toggle the RGB. Okay, that's cool. Now you will notice when you hit natural, those options are gone. It's just natural. You just got to rock it like that. So I like the fact that when you put it on Vivid, it gives you the ability to where if you're not feeling Samsung's iteration of what it thinks Vivid is, then it gives you full customizable options to, you know, do your own thing with the, you know, cool temperature or the warm temperature, or to toggle the RGB, you know, which is the red, green, blue, and, you know, tailor make Vivid to be what you want it to be, right? I like that. I likes that. All right, now let's get up out of that. And just under display, you know, other features, font size and style, screen zoom, full screen apps, camera cutout. Now, camera cutout. We got the little punch hole right here. It's kind of hard to see because I've got a black wallpaper. I got it on dark mode. Okay. But we've got show camera cutout, hide camera cutout. So let's see. Well, maybe, well, let's see. You can hide the camera cutout area by covering it with a black bar. Oh, okay, so that's how they hide it. Okay. So that feature is under display if you want to hide the camera cutout. You know, if that little hole is just, you know, too much for you. Let's see, where can I go to it? And see, there it is right there. You know, it's kind of grayed out at the top, but you can see the little hole punch right there. Yeah, you have the ability to kind of gray that out or black that out with a black bar if you don't want that to be visible, you see. And so, yeah, so there you see, even when I scroll up, there's a black bar right there. Now, let me see. So if I take that away, let's see, hide, well, is it doing it? Nope, still doing it. I'm not sure what's happening. It's not allowing me to select it. Maybe it's because I got the dark mode on. Yeah, that's where you want. That's where you go if you want to toggle the camera cutout. Then we got screen timeout, easy mode, edge panels. You know, edge panels, I got that turned on. That's this little bar right here. You swipe it to the left, and these are going to bring up your edge panels. You can customize these apps. You know, that's been a forever Samsung thing on, you know, most of their devices for years and years now. That's not anything new. You know, it's a handy feature. You know, if you don't want to go through your apps list, or if you don't want to, say if you don't want to keep, you know, a bunch of apps on your desktop screen, and you don't necessarily want to go scrolling all through your apps drawer, just your key essential apps, you can just put them right here. They're right here at your fingertips. You just slide left on the bar, and it's going to pull these up, and boom, you know, you got action right there. All right. Navigation bar. If you want to have your 3-button navigation and you're old school and you just can't quite get down with the gesture navigation, then this is where you're going to go to make that happen. Okay. But I think at this frame of the game, just the way these iPhones are working and the way that Android has kind of implemented that, and now it's their thing. I mean, you know, it's like, man, is really anybody using the 3-button navigation anymore? You know, no judgment. You know, sound off in the comments, you know what I'm saying? I mean, for the 3-button navigation squad, you know what I'm saying? Sound off in the comments, man. Big ups to y'all. All right. Gesture hint, show button to hide keyboard. What is that? The button is only available in portrait mode. Okay. And then also, when you're in these settings as well, like, pay attention to the bottom of the screen, because each one of these settings that you guys can go into, it's going to say looking for something else. And if there is something that you're having a hard time finding, there's always little recommendations down here that may be a saving grace if you're looking for something and you just cannot find it. Okay. So just right here, it's just looking for something else, system vibration, or default digital assistant app. I mean, if I was looking for either one of those things and was having a tough time finding it, boom, I could just click on it right there. All right. So let's see, accidental touch protection, touch sensitivity, show charging information, and screensaver. And then again, looking for something else, side key, language, visibility enhancements, always on display. Okay. And speaking of always on display, double tap to lock the display, and my always on display isn't coming on. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, let's like that double tap to sleep feature, double tap to wake. Let's test out that that front facing camera, which a lot of these cameras, they're always snappy on the Samsung devices. Just got to point them right at your face and boom, they open right up, nice and quick. Let's try that again just for the sake of demonstration, accuracy. Oh, come on. The camera was in the way. Hold up. Let's do that again. Face doesn't match. Come on. Are you serious? Okay. Wow. Really? Okay, there we go. See that? Let's try that again. Boom, there it is. Okay. So the camera was slightly in front of my face, which is why I wasn't reading it. Yeah, I mean, as far as the settings, I mean, wallpaper and style, themes, home screen, lock screen, security and privacy, location, safety and emergency, accounts and backups, Google advanced features, digital well-being and parental controls, battery and device care, apps, general management, accessibility, software update, which there was a software update as soon as I cracked this phone out of the box the other day. So it's good to know that Samsung is staying true to their word as far as offering timely software updates and security patches. You know, they're on top of it. You know, they're not making empty promises like some OEMs. I ain't saying no names. All right, tips and user manual about phone. So S23 status. What do we got? What am I looking for? I'm looking for the software information. There we go. We got One UI version 5.1, Android version 13, Google Play system update November 1st, 2022. I mean, so I should be getting another update for that soon. Actually, I thought that was updated yesterday. Maybe that was the update. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the software information, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, here, let's I'm going to move this out the way real quick. Get a little hands-on with this bad boy. Let's just pop it to the Bible app real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all need them. Y'all need them. You know, might as well just stop fronting. You know what I'm saying? You need them. You do. You do. But it just popped right into that. And you can see, I mean, just as soon as you get into the app, boom, everything is nice and buttery smooth. All right. Let's see. Let's go shopping real quick. Best Buy. Real content heavy app, having to load up all the products and everything, you know, gets into it with no issues at all whatsoever. Let's see, what else can I jump into? Let's jump into Spotify real quick. I haven't opened any of my apps or anything on this device, so yeah, so you know, it's not, you know, if it's not popping right into the apps immediately, it's just because I haven't opened them up. I haven't signed into anything. Let's pop into Amazon real quick. Okay, boom, just popped right up in that. All I gotta do is just plug in my username and password, and I got all action. You see, RAM is solid. Swipe up and hold, and it's gonna take you back to everything that you open. You see how snappy that is right there. Everything's nice and quick. Let's see, I can't imagine anything needing to reload. Oh, well, that just reloaded real quick. Interesting, but it only took a second to do. Amazon, boom, Amazon is still right where I left it. Let's see. Where is Spotify? Boom. Spotify is right back where I left it. Yeah. Let's go to YouTube Music real quick. Boom. Just pops right into that. It just logs me in automatically. And yeah, you see that. I mean, so you know, this phone is it's definitely a powerhouse. You know, when I get to all my recents, you know, go back into Spotify, boom, right where I left off. YouTube Music, boom, doesn't have to reload anything. It's right where I left off. Yeah, this phone, it's a beast. You know, it's a small, you know, it's a nice small compact size, you know, little monster here. You know. All right, so let's go ahead and just take a couple samples with this camera real quick, and we're gonna close this thing on out. All right, so again, you know, on the rear we've got a 50 megapixel sensor, a 10 megapixel sensor, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens with a 120 degree field of view. Okay, now on the front, you know, there used to be a 10 megapixel sensor, but we have a 12 megapixel sensor here now. Let me see. I am not going to take a selfie of myself because I'm still recovering from COVID and I look terrible, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So my son just came in, and so I'm gonna have him take a quick selfie real quick, just so you guys can get a quick peek at the qualities. Hey, will you go ahead and hit that light real quick, sir? You know, so I'm gonna just, you know, put the selfie camera on him real quick. All right. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Boom. All right, so, you know, nice looking little photo right there. Everything is detailed as it ought to be. I understand, you know, just the lighting in here is you know, I got this really bright light on over the table, which is the light that you guys are seeing, and I also had him, you know, cut the light on. So, you know, lighting is always going to be a factor, you know, with these, you know, with any camera, but especially cameras that are on mobile phones. But I mean, you know, the camera tech on the mobile phones are getting so advanced these days, and I know that Samsung has really harped, you know, on like, you know, skin tone correction, skin tone correction, low light photography, and things of that nature. I mean, so, you know, things, you know, on those particular fronts, you know, things should be, you know, they should be better. They should be better than what they were. I mean, you know, I don't really do a lot of night photography and stuff like that. But, you know, if that's something that you do want to do, then it's good to know that you've got a device in your pocket that's going to be able to handle it and be able to produce true and accurate colors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I know that, you know, skin tone is a big deal, and a lot of people have been misrepresented in these photos because, you know, the skin tone quality was always just very inaccurate. And I know that Pixel, they really, you know, stepped to the forefront, right? They stepped up to the plate and was like, yo, you know, if don't nobody else want to be a catalyst with this, then we will. You know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, they really be going hard on making sure that people's actual skin tones are represented exactly the way that they are. And it's good to see that other OEMs are following suit with that, you know. Yeah, so that's just the selfie camera right there. Let me see. And just so you guys can just, like, that's a good looking photo. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and let me see. All right, y'all that didn't know, I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan. I'm all right. You know, I don't need no hugs. I don't need no pats on the back. I don't need no virtual pats on the back, y'all. You know what I'm saying? From those of y'all that are out there in the digisphere, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know, I'm Gucci. I know my team lost in the Super Bowl. You know, I ain't making no excuses. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a Kansas City fan, you know, congratulations. Okay, congrats. You know, but I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan to the heart, to the core. Okay. And so yeah, got my little Eagle mug right there. Yeah, that is, look at that detail. That is a really, really, really good looking photo. All right, so okay, so boom. So now that we got those out of the way, says to see landmarks and place names in addition to geolocations, turn on show place names. Nah, we're not gonna do that right now. All right, so in the viewfinder, we've got photo, video, we hit more, we got Bixby Vision, AR Zone, Expert Raw, Pro Video, Night, Food, Panorama, Super Slow-Mo, Hyperlapse, Portrait Video, Director's View, Single Take. And I believe that you can add either one of these little, ignore. My bad, y'all, had a call coming in. You can add these little presets down here to where your photo and video and more toggles are, if that's something that you want to do, so that you don't always have to hit more. You see, so if there's like a favorite that you just always like to revert to, you know, say every time you open the camera, you want it in pro mode, or you want it on Expert Raw, or you want it on Pro Video, rather than just always having to hit more to find it here, boom, just add it to your recent toggles right there. and you're good to go. And it's going to be ready for you, you know, right when you need it. Okay, now the other direction, we have portrait mode. Okay, and you know, it's going to give you some directions. It says stay within 3 to 5 feet of subject, and it'll let you know, when it's, when it's a good shot for you to, take your portrait image. Okay, we do have 3x zoom. That's what it looks like when you zoom out. And that's what it looks like with 3x zoom, on. Okay, now let's go to real quick. Pull up my little wireless charger that I'm using as a phone stand, because I don't really use it anymore because my wired charging charges these phones so much faster than the wireless charging. Up top, I mean, these are going to be some filters. You got filters, face right there. Okay, and that's turned off by default. Okay. Let's see, this right here is motion. So that's just going to be like if you, just kind of like the iPhone, like with, ooh, my bad, y'all. Man, your boy Pristine's a hot commodity right now, man. Ooh, yeah. Okay, where was I? Camera? Okay, yeah. Okay, so this right here is just like when you take a photo and it'll capture like a couple of seconds. I mean, so when you're looking back at the photo, there's gonna be like movement, you know what I'm saying? So that's what this little icon here is. Okay, here, now by default, it's a 3x4, okay, the viewfinder, okay. Then we got 9x16, which is basically full screen. Almost full screen. You can still see the black bars and things. Then we got 1x1, which is a little shorter than 3x4. And then we got full screen, which is actual viewfinder, the full screen. All right, so just, I like to keep things nice and simple and, keep it at 3x4. And so here we have our timer. We got 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds. I mean, so for those of you that, like to, really take them, them selfies, you know what I'm saying? You want to, put the phone up on a tripod, or put it on a gimbal, or just prop it up somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you can get your stance right, you know what I'm talking about? You get your swagger right, you know what I'm saying? You got your little timer, going zone, so you can get right for that before that timer hits and that picture snaps. All right, now here is flash, and then we have our settings right here. Okay, so we got, for the camera settings, we got scene optimizer, shot suggestions, scan QR codes, swipe shutter button. And when you swipe the shutter button too, you can choose a couple of things. Now by default, it's on take burst shots. All right, so you could either leave it on take burst shots or create a GIF. All right, so I'm gonna just leave it as is. But creating GIFs, my boys and I, we send GIFs clowning with each other all day, every day, man. So I'm gonna start using that create a GIF feature, man. Cause I can find some fun and enjoyment with that feature. All right, watermark. Ooh, I like that. Advanced picture options. What do we have here? Okay, we've got high efficiency pictures in pro mode picture format. Now by default, it's on JPEG format. If you click on that, we got RAW and JPEG formats, or just RAW formats. Okay, so it says select which format to save pro mode pictures in. No color tone adjustments are applied to RAW pictures. Okay, so be mindful of that. All right. Okay, so now for the selfies, we've got save selfies as previewed. Video, we got auto frames per second, record brighter video in low light conditions by automatically optimizing the frame rate in video mode. Interesting. I want to see how that works, so I'm going to leave that feature on. Okay, we got video stabilization. You obviously want that on. Okay, now we got advanced video options. Okay, so high efficiency videos, by default, it's on prioritized video quality. And let's see, reduce file size by saving videos in HEVC format instead of H.264 format. Some apps may not support HEVC format. Choose how to save HEVC videos, prioritize video quality, or prioritize saving space. Okay, so you got a choice. It says prioritize video quality to capture more fine details, prioritize saving space to make video files as small as possible, but the quality may take a little bit of a hit if you're just looking to save space. But if you want that quality, then the file is going to be bigger, which you may not be able to send it based on how big that file is. So you got some choices to make. Yeah. HDR10 videos, by default, that's off. Optimize the color and contrast of videos recorded in video and pro video modes. HDR10 videos are saved in HEVC format. And then audio, we got zoom in mic. So what that is the more you zoom in on a subject using the zoom feature, or if you're using your fingers to like pinch, the viewfinder. So like when you pinch it wide, then it widens the screen. But then if you pinch it, then it narrows the screen. Well, the closer you zoom into the subject, the more you're going to be able to hear the subject. So let's just say if I'm super far away from a bird and the bird is chirping, going crazy, and say it injured one of his wings or something, and he's howling, crying, or whatever, and the more you zoom in on that bird, the more you're going to be able to hear its chirps. The more you zoom out from the bird, the less you're going to be able to hear the chirps. That's how zoom in mic works. Okay, so understand, ladies and gentlemen, the technology that is in your hand as you are operating it. You see? Then we got 360 audio recording. Capture immersive 3D sound through your Bluetooth headphones with 360 audio recording. By default, that is turned off. If you want that turned on, boom, just click it. But then when you click it, it turns off zoom in mic. Okay, so be mindful of that. All right. Now we have general. Tracking autofocus, I want that on. I want grid lines on. Notification tags, nope, because y'all don't need to know where I is. You know what I'm saying? Shooting methods. Press volume keys to take photo or record video, or zoom in or out, or control system volume. Okay, I'm just leave take pictures or video because that's what it's on by default. You got voice commands. Voice commands, you can take pictures by saying smile, cheese, capture, or shoot, or record video by saying record video. So you can, give your phone these commands and it can either shoot video by saying record video, or, you can say capture for it to capture a shot. You also have, the palm. Here it is, show your palm. So you could show your palm to the camera like that if you wanted to, take a quick photo. Then you got the floating shutter button, which is take pictures with an extra shutter button you can move anywhere on the screen. So say if you're not comfortable with the button placement of the shutter button, ignore. Then, you can have that button pretty much on the screen wherever you want it. And you'll be able to utilize it and take your photos that way. All right. Settings to keep. Now this is dope because when you choose certain settings, if you never want those settings to change and you always want them to be what it is, how you selected it, then camera mode, selfie angle. If you just find that right angle and you're just like, ooh, I need that to be the angle every time I take a selfie, boom, you turn that on and it's locked in. You know what I'm saying? And it'll never change until you turn this off. I like that. I like that. It's the little things. Samsung, you know what I'm saying? I like that. Okay. High picture resolution. Keep 50 megapixel resolution applied instead of switching to the default resolution when you close the camera. So this is what I'm saying. Like any settings that you find the sweet spot, different little setting combinations that you put together and it's doing it for you. Like you're getting that image quality that you want or that you like. You're getting that detail and that color reproduction that you like. Hit these and it's gonna lock it in so that every time you open up your camera, you'll never have to fish around for those options again to try to recreate that combination. It will save it for you. And that's something that I think we all want, right? So that's dope. Like, that's real dope. Okay. Filters, super steady, portrait zoom. Okay. That's all under settings to keep. Okay. Then we got shutter sound, vibration feedback, privacy notice, permissions, reset settings, about camera, and contact us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to demonstrate all these things real quick because I know a lot of people seem to think that if they don't get the Ultra, that they're not getting a good quality product. Make no mistake about it. The Ultra is the device that's just overkill. You know, they might as well call it the Galaxy S overkill because it just has, sometimes it's like too much. But, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that, you know, spend top dollar on devices and they want all the bells and whistles. And I feel them. And that's why I wasn't willing to give up my Z Fold 4 or even just splurge $1,200 or $1,300 for the S23 Ultra, knowing that I've already got the Z Fold 4, because the Z Fold 4 does everything that, you know, the S23 Ultra does, and it's offering more flexibility because it's a phone and tablet. You see? And yeah, you can do multitasking on the S23 Ultra, but again, like I said, you cannot do it like you can do it on the Z Fold 4. And so if you decide to get this or the S23 Plus, trust and believe, ladies and gentlemen, that you are still getting a flagship premium experience through and through. Now, another one of the reasons why I wanted to get this device over the Ultra as well, because one thing that I've noticed, and this is crazy to me, sometimes I think, why does Samsung even put out 3 devices? Just put out the Ultra. Because when they put out, during the Samsung Unpacked events, what was the device that they talked about the most as it pertains to phones? The Ultra. It's like, damn, Samsung, I mean, why even make the other 2? You know, and I understand they want to have a device that appeals to the masses because not everybody's into gargantuan devices like the Ultra. But it's just like, man, it's like as they promote the S23, just like as they promote the S22 and did with the S21, it's like the smaller, the 2 smaller variants that are the non-Ultra variants seem to take a hit. They take the back seat. They fall to the back burner, and it just seems like Samsung and everybody else that is promoting this product is all about the Ultra. So I just wanted to get the smaller base S23 here to let y'all know, like, look, man, this joint ain't no punk. You don't need the Ultra. If you don't want all, you know, if you don't want the S Pen and you don't want the extra camera arrays and the features that the cameras are doing, right, this right here is going to get you through just fine. You don't need the Ultra. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I elected, ladies and gentlemen, to pick up the S23, because I want to show a little bit of love to it. Because everywhere you look and turn, Ultra, 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 the Ultra, the Ultra. It's like, damn, you guys do realize that the S23 is a series of 3 phones, not just the Ultra. So why is everybody only talking about the Ultra? You see what I'm saying? So for those of you that are in the market, I hope that you find this video very helpful. Like I said, I mean, this is more of my channel is more geared towards teaching and showing a lot of these features and functions, so that if you do want to commit to this device and spend $850, you know exactly what it is that you're getting yourself into. You see? But that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen, for the unboxing experience, pristine style. You know what I'm saying? For the S23. Yeah, I was gone for a while, man. I was gone for a while. I was on like a 4 or 5 month hiatus where I just didn't upload anything. So this is my first video of 2023, and I'm back with a vengeance, y'all. Those of y'all that have supported me throughout that time span where I wasn't uploading, you know, still meeting my threshold, still my subscribers, you know, subscriber base still increasing. Oh man, you guys are amazing. But God is good. It's all grace and glory be to God. You know what I'm saying? If you like this video, you already know, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Hit that notification bell because every time videos drop and go live, you can get notified so you can be one of the first to check out the content. And when you do that, be sure to sound off in the notification section, you know what I'm saying, in the comment section rather, which is where I'm always posted up and chilling at, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I ask is that if you're in the comments, let's keep it respectful. I respect your views and opinions. Please respect mine and your fellow man and woman's, you know what I'm saying? And let's talk tech respectfully and peacefully. And like I just hinted towards, none of this would be possible without y'all, but most importantly, the Almighty. You know what I'm saying? So all praise and glory be to God. You know what I'm saying? I'm a God-fearing Christian man. And I know that some of y'all have, you know, jumped on me or tried to at least. Oh, man, what are you witnessing about Christ in a tech video? Because I'm not ashamed to let y'all know that it's because of Christ as to why all this that I got going on is possible. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to share it. So it's like, if I can help you make an educated decision on your next smartphone purchase and drop a little seed about our creator, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who saved me, you, and has the ability to save anybody. If I could drop a little seed in your ear about him and possibly save you from whatever it is that you going through right now. Oh man, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Man, you getting a 2-for-1 here at Pristine Tech, baby. Come on now. Yeah, God is good, man. Say amen. Amen. You know what I'm saying? I'm your man Pristine, y'all. This is the S23. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for the full Pristine review. And I got a whole slew of videos coming on a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So keep it locked at Pristine Tech. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.